Home Street Bank is the sponsor of our podcast. They're our lender of choice, whether your banking needs are personal or business. Great people, great rates, tremendous service. That's homestreetbank.com.
You know, we all love dealing with happy customers. But what do you do when your customer is acting downright snarky? Let's talk about it today on The Buyer's Mind.
Welcome to The Buyer's Mind, where we take a closer look deep inside your customer's decision-making mechanism to reverse engineer the perfect sales presentation. Now, please welcome your host, Jeff Shore.
Well, welcome everyone once again to The Buyer's Mind, where we take a tour through the customer's buying brain, figure out how they want to buy. If we know the way that they want to buy, we can reverse engineer the sales process to make it easier for them to do just that. And today's a special episode. It's just me on this one. Oh, of course, it's never just me. I'm joined by our show producer, Paul Murphy. Murph, we're going to talk about what to do when customers get snarky. Are you intrigued by that topic?
Snarky. Sarcasm. It's my love language, man. I speak it all the time.
What do you think is going on in the customer's mind when they're giving you some of that attitude?
That is a great question. I think sometimes they think they know it all. Maybe that's the issue.
Yeah. I think that's certainly part of the issue. I wonder too how much of it is just stress induced. It's just they're going through a stressful time, and you've probably seen this. In fact, let me just ask you the question, Murph. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is it fair to say, and I may have asked you this question before, but is it fair to say that you're a nicer person at a wedding reception or a cocktail party than you are when you walk onto a used car lot?
Well, at a wedding reception, I've had a couple beers, so yeah, I'll tend to be a nicer person. But yeah, while my defenses are up a little bit higher at the car lot. Sure.
Well, look, I want to suggest that stress does tend to induce negative responses. So stress hangs out in the negative part of our brain. It puts us on high alert, and we do tend to have that negative stress-related response. So if you want an example of that, just think about moving day or when it's time to do your taxes. It does elicit a negative emotion, and what happens? We get a little snarky. We get a little short-tempered with people around us. Things that would otherwise not bug us. And I think the key is to understand that what you are seeing from your customers who get snarky, what you are seeing is behavior, not character. So I want to recommend to you that one of the worst things that you can do is when you see negative behavior of some kind is that you start making moral judgments. And we start thinking, oh, one of those guys. No, it's not one of those guys. What you are seeing is stress, the same level of stress that you would carry and the same negative behavior that you might carry when you're walking onto a car lot, right? It's one of those guys. And the fact of the matter is, I've met a lot of great car salespeople, and one of the things that makes them great is that they're very good at understanding that negative behavior, that snarky behavior, is not their character, it is their tactic. And that tactic is based on stress. If they let that get to them, then they're going to make judgments about that person, and it's never going to get anywhere at all. In fact, it's worse than that, because now what's going to happen is if somebody is nice, then I attribute it to what a great guy I am. They're nice to me because I'm that good a guy. But if they're not nice, then what do? I tend to look at it and blame it on them. Well, I can't help it. The guy's an idiot. No, the guy's not an idiot. The guy is stressed out. And if we can look at it from that perspective, that it is our responsibility, ours, not theirs, our responsibility to bring them around. Remember, that person is investing their time in order to talk to you. It is up to you. It is incumbent upon you to make that worthwhile. So I want to just suggest you here that this is where empathy comes into play. And I might recommend a YouTube video by one of my favorites, the great Brené Brown, Brene Brown. If you go to YouTube and type Brené Brown on empathy, and then maybe you put the letters RSA, you're going to get this little 3.5-minute animated short that is really, really a great and brief description on empathy. And the idea that empathy is not feeling for someone, it's feeling with someone. I actually have to enter into that dark place where they are sitting. I have to understand that the behavior I'm getting is based on something deeply rooted, deeply emotional, and deeply distressing. And if I can step into that place, then I can adopt their perspective as my own. I can look at it and say, I understand why you're acting that way. You don't really want to be here right now. I get that. You've been burned by salespeople in the past, whatever it is. But I don't want to look at my customer as a combatant. I want to look at my customer as somebody I can partner with to help them through this process. So this is empathy is such a great skill to have. And I want to encourage you to practice it in your everyday life. Talk to people who hang out with stressed people and ask how they do it. Go out and talk to people who sell prepaid funeral services. Go talk to people who work in the ICU. Hang out with people who hang out with stressed people and ask them, how do you do it? Now, here's the good news. If you've got that snarky buyer and you get them turned around, they're going to be the best customers you will ever find. There'll be a sense of partnership that's so deep and so thorough. And you know why? Because nobody else was willing to take the time to do it. Nobody else was willing to put the energy in. You did it. You stayed with them. You got that sale. You got that referral. You got that customer for life. And you're a better person for it. Now, go out there. Listen to that snarky customer, practice your empathy, turn them around, and then go change their world.